Hey, welcome back. It's Recovering Hedonist, and tonight I'm gonna be talking while taking off my makeup. So, as you can tell by the title, tonight's video is about wanting to go outside and be a normal person, but every time you go outside, you end up feeling worse. So tonight I went to a Twilight screening. I grew up watching the movies. My mom would take me to every movie as a kid, so I'd seen the film before, but my fiance took me, which was very kind of him. And, there's something that I'm really struggling with. And, I feel like when I was growing up, I always just kind of thought, well, if I eventually can live a life where I'm not as much of a shut-in and I actually go out, maybe things will improve for me. I'm gonna look a bit crazy because I'm removing the makeup. It's like I really thought that if I could just not stay inside all day and become like this normal person, that life would resolve. But, now I'm 25 and I feel like the anhedonia is just never gonna go away at this point. It's just, that's a thought that really plagues me. I wish that depression was just like this new thing for me. I wish that, depression only started to hit me in my 20s. I wish that it wasn't my entire adolescence and childhood that was like stolen from me because of this. Look how freaking crazy I look right now. I wish that I had been able to not go through adolescence completely depressed. I feel like that experience truly shaped the way that I am, and I almost don't even understand how to live without depression, and I feel like my brain doesn't understand how to live without it either. And it's just getting to the point where, trying to go outside and enjoy myself and be around people, and even if I'm just with my fiance, I'm outside, it's like it doesn't make me feel better. It makes me feel worse. I compare myself to others, and I know, comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah. But I do, I don't feel pretty enough. I don't feel skinny enough. And most of all, I don't feel good enough to be around people, to socialize. I just don't. Let me wipe all this black mess off of my eye. I feel like if depression hits you too young, I don't really want to say this, but it's almost like, what hope is there? I guess I should just speak for myself, because that's how I feel about myself. And I know that there'll be people who are like, no, you should try therapy. Therapy works for me, and therapy does wonders. And I just, what? If therapy is good for you, then that's really great. Therapy is not good for me. I don't say that for lack of trying. I have tried, and to be fair, I only had 2 to 3 therapists in my life, but I don't feel like it's a normal experience to, every time you really, really open up to a therapist, that they just discharge you and say, I can't help you. Like, it's like my issues are just like too messed up. I am trying to be a bit better with my cussing. I wanted to say effed up there, but I'm trying to not be too much of a rebel. I want to please God. The blue seems to have stained my lips. Okay, I'm gonna wash off this first layer. It's like I just feel better being a shut-in. I think there's this weird amount of calm that comes from just being almost entirely to myself and, you know, not being reminded of people my age or younger having their friend groups and all this stuff. I just feel like I'm at a point where it is mentally healthier for me to stay inside as much as I can. You know, I had my first job at the end of last year, and it only ended for me in mid-August this year. But, you know, even working that job, it was really beginning to take a toll on me. I'm not a social person, so it was really, like, emotionally damaging, I would say, to have to work customer service. And, you know, not everybody was terrible. I'm not going to act like every customer was horrible. There were some really decent or very kind people. But, you know, if you're inclined to depression, if you have like a sad temperament, you're more easily going to remember like the negative moments. And for me, I tend to think about how you get treated in life if you do not look visibly happy, especially if you're a woman. I feel like men tend to be able to get away way more than women with looking unhappy, looking like they're brooding, looking like they're arrogant. And then women were just like deemed bitches because we're not, you know, smiling like a freaking lunatic all the time. Happy to be here. Like, well, I'm not freaking happy to be here. And I actually had a female customer who I had served before. She came in and she was just being so rude. I mean, I might even do a Tales from Retail series because there are some bizarre folks. But to be like yelled at work, and I don't use that lightly, okay? She wasn't just being rude, like she was yelling at me for not smiling. I was literally working at a Rite Aid, and she's like, "You're not smiling. How dare you not smile? Would it kill you to smile?" Like, what the? That shit really messed me up. And I know someone might say, "Oh, pull yourself together, toughen up." It's like, okay, I'm pretty freaking tough, okay? I dealt with really horrible customers, and there were other things that happened that I would say were actually worse than that somehow. But I shouldn't have to perform like a monkey. And that doesn't just apply to my time in customer service. I feel like it also applies to just my life. When you struggle with depression and it's this like chronic, this ongoing, like severe, people do not like that. They, even if they love you, they don't want to witness it. It just brings other people down. And one thing that I noticed, at least in my life, and I don't know if other people with dysthymia, long-term depression, have undergone this as well, but it's almost like people take your depression not seriously, that they take it personally. Like, oh, you're sad because of me. Or even if they don't do that, it's like, oh, you're sighing all the time. You're a downer. You're never happy. You don't like anything. And it's like, well, if that irritates you, think about how much it irritates me. Like, I'm the one stuck in here. I'm the one dealing with these thoughts all the freaking time. I don't know. I mean, I've been journaling since I was 13, so it's been 12 years now. And I don't get enjoyment from that anymore. I'm almost sickened at the thought of writing another sad thought down. And it's not to say that I've never been happy in my life. I have, but I think sadness plagues me in a way that it shouldn't be able to. It really shouldn't be able to. I'm gonna wash my face again. I'm trying to finish up this huge thing of Clearasil that I'm just so freaking tired of using. Going out just tends to remind me of how far behind I feel in life. I know I'm only 25 and I'm not old. Despite other Gen Zers that I've had to interact with that were literally born in 02, and I'm born in 2000, and they act like I am a granny. Get over yourself. Seriously. Because if that's true, then in 2 years you'll be old too. Like, I hate that. When I told someone I was turning 25, she went halfway to 50, and it's like, really, bitch? Ugh, I don't like interacting with people. They don't seem to really like interacting with me, for the most part. And I'm really savoring being unemployed right now and just living off of my fiance's help and my own personal savings. But it like actually kills me inside that I'm gonna have to get another job someday. And I don't care if that comes off as privilege. I don't care. This is my video diary. Like, I say how I feel. I'm not gonna censor myself. I don't know. I feel like going out in public should make me feel better. But when I look back on my life, I feel like it's always actually made me feel worse somehow. I think I'm gonna take down my hair at this point. Yeah, I feel like it's always just made me feel worse. And, oh, I should have worn my arm, like, to catch the water. I have these, like, arm bracelet things. Whatever. I just used this. I freaking hate this product, but I'm just trying to finish it up. I'm so tired of using it. It burns me. I'm just trying to use it up. And then I got this, like, Korean, which side? This, like, Korean, eye product. I just wanted something with a roller, and I don't like always want to buy everything from Sephora since it's not my dad's money anymore. It's my money. Like, depression hits freaking different in the 20s versus adolescence. But when I look back on my adolescence, like, that shit was torture. It was so horrible. Like, I don't even really know how to speak about it. I wrote so many poems as a teen that I compiled them into a whole book. And with, you know, the words teenage corpse in the title, I think you can tell how freaking horrible I felt. I felt dead. I felt like a walking corpse. And in a lot of ways, I was one. I was certainly treated like one. I just feel like depression is this demon that is relentlessly following me, and I get more breaks from it now than I ever did as a teenager, but I feel like I am literally cut off from this experience that others get to have, where they go out in the world and they just, like, feel okay. And they don't have these, like, thoughts of suicide in the back of their mind. And just, I hate that I'm 25 and I'm still dealing with this. Like, I'm so glad that 15-year-old me, you know, my depression started younger than that, but I'm glad that 10 years ago, 15-year-old me couldn't see that I'm still struggling with it, because she would have ended it all, and I wouldn't have been able to blame her for that. I always just had this hope when I was younger that when I reached adulthood and had everything figured out, which is never, that I get really dry behind my ears. That's why I'm doing this. I always just thought, like, then the depression will disappear. If I just had a boyfriend, my depression will disappear. That's stupid. That's not freaking true. And I figured that out at 18. Oh my God, 18, 19, horrible years for me. And it was just completely male-centered and a horribly hedonistic time. But that's another story. Yeah, I wonder if there's other people out there that also don't feel good even when they force themselves to go outside. Like, it's almost like it just makes me feel more incompetent and inferior. Like, I'm just not good at being alive. And I'm certainly not good at trying to enjoy life. You know, my fiance takes me to this Twilight screening, and I'm so thankful and I'm grateful for it, and I'm glad we went. And there was some fun times, but it's just like, in the back of my mind, death is always there. And to be fair, like, death is going to happen to us all at some point. But it's like a plague to me. It's like I cannot escape my dark thoughts. I am literally medicated again. And this is my third freaking antidepressant. And I'm at the point where, like, is this forever? Is this the rest of my life? Am I going to turn 40 in 15 years and still feel this way? Because I am not okay with that. Am I going to be 50 and feel this way? 60? Am I even going to live that freaking long? I don't know. I'm really frustrated with the depression. And, you know, I got mocked so relentlessly as a teenager for having this kind of dark personality and being the weird girl and being the outcast and everyone making fun of me for, like, being unhappy. And I almost feel like I've let my younger self down by failing to become this, like, genuinely bubbly, happy girl. I feel like I was that way as a child and it got stolen from me. And now I'm left to just walk this earth as a shell of a human. And I've felt this way for over 15 years now, and I'm so young, and I just feel like, is this my forever while I'm on earth? Is this the brain I'm gonna have to deal with? It reminds me of that Sylvia Plath quote, is there no way out of the mind? That used to be my Instagram bio, my personal Instagram bio, around 10 to 12 years ago. Well, that's not a very fun video, but it's a very real and honest one. I really want people who struggle with mental health to feel like they can vent on this channel and also talk about their struggles with depression. I didn't really talk about how social anxiety affects my discomfort going in public. That's actually a huge part of it, but I feel like it goes without saying that I am a socially anxious person. But again, I am medicated to some degree, so it has lessened, but I still just feel off. It never feels right. I never feel like I fit in. I feel like I am just always stuck behind this glass, and I'm looking around at everyone that they seem to be having fun and they seem to be enjoying themselves. And I just have to pretend like I fully am, when there's always like at least half of me that is just miserable. Despite not having enough reason nowadays to be miserable. Back in the day, I had a lot of reasons, but not really now. Anyway, I want to say goodbye. Beat the Twilight shirt. I'm on my tippy toes for that. Well, see you in the next video. Bye.